Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters. How are you? How was your Christmas celebration? Was it merry or was it sad because it was quiet? Was it sad because you didn't have the usual family members gathered together? Was it sad because you could not embrace each other? Was it sad because you were by yourself? I tell you, I was by myself too on Christmas Eve, but I was happy. It was still a Merry Christmas. Because for me, happiness is a choice. I choose to be happy. And my Christmas was merry and will always be because it isn't about me. It is about Jesus. It is the fact that He was born and that He loves me, and that makes my Christmas merry. I find inspiration in the main character in our gospel today, Anna. We do not know a lot about Anna, but our gospel today reveals two things. First, Anna was a widow. Her husband had already died. She had no one beside her. Yet, she wasn't bitter. She wasn't sorrowful. Barclay says that sorrow can do one of two things for us. It can either make us hard, bitter, resentful, and rebellious against God, or it can make us kinder, softer, and more sympathetic of others because we know how it feels. It even can despoil us of our faith, or it can root our faith even deeper. It all depends on us, on how we manage our situations. It all depends on our attitude and our outlook. In fact, it all depends on how well you know God. If we think of God as a father, we will be sure that even in the midst of our aloneness, we will never feel lonely because we have God as our father who is always with us. And then the gospel says Anna was 84 years old. It is obvious that age can take away the bloom and the strength of our bodies. But age can do worse than that. It can also take the life of our hearts, and we can become dully content and grimly resigned. We can be lifeless, even lacking in hope, in inspiration, even in passion to do new things. It all depends on us, though, on how we manage our situation. It all depends on our attitude and outlook. In fact, it all depends on how well you know God. If we think of God as a father, we will be sure that even in the midst of our aging, we will never feel lacking in compassion. We will never feel lacking in passion. We will never feel despair and detached because we have God who gives us life, who gives us reason to wake up each day. And so, what was Anna's secret? Obviously, God. She never ceased to worship. She spent her life in God's house with God's people, and she never ceased to pray in the temple. Friends, right now, our prayers have been mostly private, at home. But when this is over, come back to church and let us gather together as people of God. Because while private prayer is good, praying together is a priceless treasure. For Jesus says, where two or three are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of you. Nevertheless, in every situation, pray and worship God. Anna lived her life without bitterness and in unshakable hope because day by day, she kept her contact with Him who is the source of strength and in whose strength our weakness is made perfect. Amen.